she's giving her side of the story of really what's going on. And the backlash that she might have got behind giving up her children. Because one thing, man, children didn't ask to come in this world, but when you have these children, lay down and have these children, you got to deal with the consequences. And it is what it is. And that's real talk. So make sure y'all like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this situation. And that's real talk.
For the kids, they're doing some fucked up shit. When my mother.
Let's go back just a little bit, tad bit, okay? Another tad bit.
One thing, I will never be tired of being a mom. That wasn't the issue. Not being able to provide for them the way that I consider being a good mom. Like, I didn't have the resources. I was working 2 jobs, like I was doing the utmost, but it came time to where I'm doing all of this. I'm not getting ahead. I'm not really spending any time with the kids because I'm always trying to make more money. And then it really just got to a point to where like it actually started to follow my health. Like I actually started having many heart attacks and just things like that. So it was like I tried to hold on to being a single mom, trying to tackle it all and stuff like that until it literally almost killed me. Like my heart almost exploded. So it's either, and that's why in the video I was telling her, it's like, okay, I can either die and then not have shit, or I can take this leap, figure some shit out, and go back for when everything is good and dandy. I mean, that's literally what I was left with.
When your story got you this couch, let's do it like this. We want to give some people some context. Before we get into, taking kids to CPS, let's get your history out.
Good question. Good question. Listen.
Columbus, Ohio. Are you in a single family home growing up, or you have brothers, sisters, aunties? Give us the family dynamic.
So I have like a strained relationship with like my dad's side of the family. No connection whatsoever to my mom's side from me, like me, my sisters, or my brothers. No connection because they trifling as fuck. That whole side of the family does incest, and my mom's gone through a lot of things behind that. So she's.
You said incest?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like on my mom's side of the family, that's where most of the drugs and prostitution and stuff come from. So if they're not selling themselves or each other or the kids, they're doing some fucked up shit. When my mother's mom died, when we went to go see her for the first time, that's when we met my grandma, which was on her deathbed. Our cousin, I was 14 at the time. He slid in our inbox and was trying to fuck us. My mom took us from that, like, we've never seen him since, and that was our first time. She just wanted us to see her mom before she died.
And the older cousin?
I don't know how old he is. Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know anybody on my mom's side of the family. I have a strained relationship with my dad's side of the family. Altogether, I have 26 brothers. Well, it's 26 of us. But I only know. I'm sorry.
Take your time, cause.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta count them. Woo.
We like 14 maybe. So I don't know what it is. And the other ones like I've heard of. I don't know what they look like. I just know their names.
How many? Do you have any immediate brothers and sisters from mom and dad?
2 sisters and 2 brothers.
Are they older than you, or?
I have a twin sister. Yeah, I have a twin sister, 1 older sister, and then 2 older brothers. But one of my older brothers, it's a little weird. He's older than me, but it's like I helped raise him because he has Down syndrome. So, yeah, that's my baby.
So for you, how many children do you have?
I have 5 beautiful, intelligent kids.
Okay. If you don't mind, we're gonna walk down the situation with each child, if you don't mind, as far as how old you were when you had them. You don't gotta give the names and all like that,
Absolutely.
But please, if you don't mind, tell us how old you were when you had each one and what the situation with the father was, if you don't mind.
So with the first 2, was I'm gonna say my oldest son. I got pregnant at 15. Yeah, I think I was 15. I got pregnant at 15, had him at 16. My second son I got pregnant at 16, had him at 17. They're 11 months apart. So I didn't have time to heal before,
So with that being said, the father of your first child, you mentioned 15 pregnant, and then again at 17, 11 months apart. The father himself, was that because you were still in school at this time, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Is that a classmate? Is that
No, he was a grown man. He wasn't in school.
how?
But he was hanging out with the rest of us little kids. That's how I met him.
Do you know how old he was?
No, at that time I thought he was. I mean, I do know actually. To go back, now we're talking about it. He's short. So I've always kind of been fairly on the tall side. So even at 15, he was around like my height and stuff. But he didn't. From what I remember, he didn't really look like a grown man. He looked short, maybe a little bit of facial hair, but what 15-year-old didn't have it at that time.
Was he older than 18?
At that time, I don't like no. I mean, obviously at that time he was 21, but I didn't know he was 21 until I met him. But like I said, I thought he was just like 15.
Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Not only that, this is a young lady. Once again, if you just come in here, this is a young lady that gave her children up to CPS because she didn't get any help from her family, the baby fathers, or nothing like this. And me personally, just like I said, I believe, that she did the right thing because we know nowadays a lot of people, a lot of women are doing some crazy stuff to their children, deleting their children because, she couldn't get the help. At least she's trying to get the help. So I got to go with that.
So the first time.
Listen.
Yeah, take your time.
The first time. The first time anything sexual happened or whatever, it was like maybe 3-4 days since I've been well, me, my mother. He said that pretty much is, and that's why I'm telling people, like, obviously looking back, I know I'm a victim.
Hindsight is always 20.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck how it looks. I'm gonna tell my truth regardless. So like until it actually was that point, because he did hold me down. Like I remember vividly one good time when he held me down because he told me I was gonna do it whether I liked it or not. I remember that. But obviously the very first time I didn't really like fully understand, but I did open that door because he said if you do this, I'll get you a personal pizza or whatever. So yeah, I did. My And it's so embarrassing because it's like most females, they lose their virginity or whatever, at prom or whatever. I'm in the hood. A fucked up house roaches right around for a fucking pizza that I was so disgusted to eat, I still didn't eat afterwards.
No, it's very important because you'll be very surprised on how many people share that same story of their first time or their initial few times being in a scenario which, when they look back on as they become young women, it was never a scenario that they would ever put themselves in again based on what it was.
So,
but you were a child at the time. I mean, you're a child, and again, I will say men do prey on a woman's mindset, still being you're not there yet.
No, I was still playing with Barbie dolls up until 15. To be honest,
Wow.
I ain't gonna beat you.
Even to say
like, that's how I would chill. Shit, that was me.
Was anybody in support of you when you found out that you were pregnant? Did you have anybody as your support system, mom, family, anybody that was like in support of like, all right, we're gonna get through this together?
Not until like my mom, probably not until she found out like it was a boy. That's what it really set in for her. Because for the first longest, I can't really remember too much. Like I don't think I told anybody. I think maybe I did tell my mom or something. I don't really remember how that went. But my whole pregnancy, I was very depressed. I wanted to die. I mean, when I was by myself, I expressed happiness because that's all I had to look forward to. And it was like, did I want to be a mom? No. Who wants to be a mom at 15? It was like, I did fall in love with the idea that, once it set in for me, it was like, I was really, really tiny. Like, I'm tiny now. I was really tiny. So, like, once I realized, like, I started I couldn't fit my clothes no more. It started getting, like, it was just like, that's when it really set into me. It was like, you know what? How can I put it? It's like, I started to like fall in love with the idea that no matter what, this child's gonna love me, I'm gonna love this child. No matter what, I'm gonna protect this child.
And that's what it is in regards that, again, you're young, fairy tale. So it makes total sense. Would you say you had a difficult pregnancy or easy pregnancy just in regards to just your health getting through it?
No. I think like I was always bleeding like throughout my pregnancy. I mean, for the most part, it was cool. Like there wasn't really a lot of food, so I was hungry a lot of my pregnancy. Um, I'm not gonna make it seem like he did a lot like during my pregnancy. But he did put his hands on me a couple times during my pregnancy. For the most part, it was just really me, just trying to push through every fucking day. That fucking house, being around him, couldn't get the fuck away from him for a while. It was just too much. Like I just wanted to fucking die, but I kept going. You know,
When you had the child, was he present?
Hmm?
When you had the child, like at the hospital, was he present there? Was you there?
yeah, he was because I was told like long story short, like I'm 16, they'll take him. I believe at this time I did have already developed Stockholm's or whatever it's called. So I did for a while fall in love with my captor. And that's the truth.
And where were you living? Were you still living at home with your mom? Were you staying with him?
No, I was at home with my mom. And then I think sometime after my second son was born, I left home. Not even gonna lie, the house we was in, it was just a lot of roaches and bed bugs. I was getting bit, the babies was getting bit, so I did leave and I did go to his mom's house. And that wasn't no better.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. His parents or his family, were they receptive of you? And the first child, even going into the second one, how was his family?
To be honest, I don't really remember except for a lot of them. Like a lot of them, they were mad that he was messing with a little girl. They're like, man, why? Because I didn't know. He had this girl that he was messing with who was a grown woman. So I don't know how that whole thing happened, but then he went from a grown woman to a little ass girl. So I don't know. So they were pretty pissed off. A lot of them didn't really talk to me for a while. I didn't really care because I really just stayed in the room a long time. But a lot of them did say like, well, she's not the first to get pregnant at 15. She won't be the last. I can't say they did say that for a while too.
Your first child, boy or girl?
No, both my first two are boys. Well, my first three, honestly. Yeah, but in this situation, boys. Yeah.
I'm curious. Did you want a girl or did you want a boy? Just from what you were hoping for?
I didn't want girls. I didn't want kids at all. But if I, obviously, I would have chosen boys.
Okay. All right. So,
Did you experience any postpartum through this?
Yeah. I mean, I was depressed the entire pregnancy. I was depressed afterwards, but for a while, like the first 3 months, I was so happy. It was just like it was just me and my son, you know. So, but I definitely was postpartum.
so just to jump to your third child, or let me ask you this before we go to the third child: the status of baby daddy, number one. Where is he at now? Where was he at during that time? Was he active? Was he not active? Because you said he had another girl.
No, so he didn't actually like become like fully active or not even fully active because like I don't know how I can explain this because obviously I didn't get away until I was 18 when I got my first apartment. So he would be there, but it's not like he would be working or providing or anything like that. the best thing I could do was do my 2 jobs while I was in high school, save up. So, I could get away. So he was just at that point, he was a babysitter, but it wasn't just him. It would in the house, it would be him, my mom, and everybody else. Because a couple of times, like it just I don't know how I can explain it. Like I would ask my mom, like, can you like get him to go? You gotta figure it out, like things like that. So it's like